to show you how to hook up one of these LC2s. This could add a subwoofer to your system or even add a second amp for anything that you want to hook up. Now I'm going to show you. Alright, so here's the LC2i. So basically what you have here is you have inputs here for your speaker inputs, you have inputs here for your power, ground, and remote and all that. So basically we have to hook up these first, which is the speaker inputs. Usually you can find it on these rear doors right here. We have to tap into these speakers and run a wire back to that device, and then it'll be able to get the signal from your radio and put it into that device. I'll take this apart and show you. So the first thing you want to do is start taking off your panels here. You want to take these panels off so you can find the wires right here. You'll need to find a wiring diagram for your specific vehicle in order to know which wires you need to tap into to get the signal from the radio. On this one, we have these green wires right here. Both of these green wires, that's for the radio to go to this speaker right here in the back. We can just tap into that and then run the wires and hook it up. Alright, so as you can see here, I stripped the wire and then I soldered new wires to those wires, positive and negative, and then these will run all the way to the back. You can either solder them like I did, or you could put butt connectors on there, whatever way you feel comfortable doing. And then you just make sure you tape all this up so the wires never touch. Alright, so after you get them taped off, then you want to run the wire nicely underneath either the carpet or any trim pieces that you have here. Right here is going to be covered, and you want to make sure that it's not near any of these holes where clips go inside of so it gets pinched and breaks. And then you just run it all the way back, and then you come out somewhere, and then you can hook it up. Alright, so now that you got your wire ran from that door and from that door over there, you got to hook them up to this box, positive and negative, positive and negative. Now we need to find power and ground and remote. So basically we have to take this wire and hook it up to the battery all the way up behind the seat and run it up back here so that way we can get power for our amp and for this box. Alright, so after you find your battery, this is the positive wire that we got to hook up to the positive. You see by that plus right there, that's the positive. We have to take that bolt out, put this on there, and tighten the bolt back up. And then we cut it probably about a foot, and then we add this fuse in line. So that way, in case this wire ever gets shorted out anywhere, this fuse will pop, and then you won't have to worry about burning down your car. So now, after you hook up that wire, we got to cut it where we got to put the fuse. We're going to probably cut it right around there, and then after we cut that, then we can attach to the fuse. Basically, you just take your cutters, cut it like that, put the cutters down a little bit, and just slice into it just a little tiny bit. And then this casing on the outside, you don't want to cut in too much because then you'll break the wire. Just like that, and now you got the wire right there. Give it a little twist. And now it go inside the end of this right here. We just got to loosen up that set screw and put it inside there, and then we can reattach the wire onto this other side. Alright, so after you run your power and then you find a good place to mount this ground, usually you can find like a seat bolt or something to mount that ground, hook those up to the amp, and then you have these three wires here. One is for remote, one is for power, and one's for ground here. The power and ground can go directly to the amp, and then the remote goes from the remote out to the amp here. So this actually has a feature right here, bypass and enable, where you have it on enable inside of here. And basically what that does is every time your speakers turn on inside your truck, this will turn on and turn on the radio. Alright, next what you want to do is you look right here, you have main output and then you have bass output. We're hooking up a subwoofer today, so you want to grab your RCAs and plug them into this right here. Each one goes inside there, and then you take the other side and you plug it into the input of your amp. Alright, so now we have to hook up the speaker wires here. You can see red right here is positive, and this black one right there is negative, but we're using a white wire, so it doesn't really matter. So you take these two wires right here, and you can see here on the amp, on the bottom there, it says negative on the bottom and positive on the top. So we're going to hook this red wire up to that positive, and we're going to hook the white wire up to the negative. Alright, and then after you hook up the speaker wires, then you're going to want to look at my other video on how to set your gains and everything like that, and that's pretty much it, and now it's playing.